Hello, everybody. Today we are covering episode 3 in Tea and 21 with Laura Sharpe. And today I have with me Eleanor Baggaley, my friend, who is going to introduce herself now.
Hi, Laura. I have my youngest little girl, Ava, who is 6 and she has Down syndrome. I am also a trustee for Down syndrome Northeast, which I have been for 3 years, I think now. And I don't know whether you want me to talk about this or not, but obviously I wrote Ava the Mermaid, named after Ava, all about kind of her having Down syndrome and helping other people with the diagnosis.
Brilliant. And we met quite early on in my pregnancy because I had a prenatal diagnosis with Lucy that she was going to have Down syndrome. And during the process, we had lots of scans. We had 3D scans. We had scans at the hospital. So we saw Lucy lots of times. And by the time we had her diagnosis, they did tell us it was going to be a little girl. So we gave her the name Lucy. And that was when we really started to bond with her, which we were lucky that we were able to do that during the pregnancy. And I remember making the announcement. I don't know how your announcement went, Eleanor, because your diagnosis was postnatal. But with our diagnosis during pregnancy, we decided we wanted to tell everybody that Lucy was going to have Down syndrome. And I did a lot of research around that. What's the best way to put that message out there to people? Because you're kind of frightened what the reaction of your friends and family is going to be. A lot of close friends and family already knew, and I'm pretty sure we already knew each other before I'd even put on Facebook that Lucy was going to have Down syndrome. So I knew there would be already people around me that were going to be positive about it, but we were quite frightened, I remember. And there was a lady called Sarah Pree, who has a little girl, Marnie, who she had shared her Facebook announcement with me. And I took inspiration from that. It was really helpful because I literally didn't know where to start. So bless her, she was so lovely, and she messaged me and she showed me a screenshot of what she'd put out there. And I sort of, reworded and did something similar and mainly just said, our daughter's going to have an extra chromosome, but we're still going to love her just as much. Who cares about the extra chromosome? And I couldn't believe the reaction. I couldn't believe how supportive everybody was. And I was so frightened when I pressed go, but actually immediately got messages privately and publicly saying, you're going to be the best parents. We're so pleased for you. We're so happy for you. Because at that point, a lot of people didn't even know we were pregnant, never mind that we're going to have a baby that had Down syndrome. It was literally just, our pregnancy announcement along with Lucy's diagnosis. And at that point, we had another scan, and we'd already had a scan when we'd said to the fetal medical consultant that we wanted to carry on. He did a scan then and he didn't see any heart defect. He thought that the heart looked perfect, but it was the size of a raisin, I think, at 17 weeks or something.
Because I think the size of anyone's heart is about the size of their fist.
Yes.
So a baby that's
only a few weeks. It was only tiny. Yeah. And bless him, he thought that her heart looked perfect. And then a couple of weeks later, I think I was about 18 or 19 weeks pregnant when he did the second scan. And that's when he found that what he'd seen was almost like seeing the heart in reverse. He'd kind of seen what he thought was the right heart, but actually it turns out it wasn't, because she had the complete AVSD, which is the 2 holes, top and bottom, and then only 1 valve across the middle. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
We still have to keep each other right, really, don't we? What all the terminology is.
It's hard to picture it, but I remember the consultants drawing a picture for us, and part of that was so that we could show our older kids what it was as well. And it's quite confusing with having the two holes in both the top, a hole in each of the top and the bottom.
Yes, exactly, and only the 1 valve instead of 2, so the valve's doing more work than it should or something, I think.
Yeah, there can be different issues with the valve. Yeah, so much to it.
Yeah. And I remember when we got that call, this was I think that scan might have been before we'd put the announcement on Facebook. I'm not sure now. Because although I think we were already in touch, weren't we? And then I think when we got the diagnosis of the heart, a friend of a friend who'd already introduced us said, "Did you know that Eleanor's little girl has that same heart defect?" And I didn't. I couldn't remember you telling me.
I don't know whether we'd. I don't think we'd got in into kind of the details of it?
No, I don't think we had. And I got in touch with you and I was in a bit of a panic, I think. And you said, look, let's just meet for lunch. You need to meet Ava. And I think it was it the start of the summer holidays? It might have been the very beginning of the summer holidays.
I had all three of the children.
Yeah, you had all three of them and it was a weekday. So it must have been the holidays. And we met up for lunch, didn't we? And you really put my mind at rest about, everything. Obviously, you'd been to hell and back with Ava's surgery and everything. But at the same time, meeting you all and seeing Ava so healthy and happy and interacting with everybody and causing mischief as she does. It was I really enjoyed that lunch because it really made me feel like things are going to be okay.